Good evening, and welcome everyone to this grand and heavenly event, an opportunity to thank our lucky stars. Speaking of luck, on the way here tonight, my triskaidekaphobia was really acting up. I think I saw 6 black cats. 4 ran out in front of me, and 2 of those ran under a ladder in someone's yard. I lost my rabbit's foot 2 days ago, and dropped a heavy flashlight on a pocket mirror as I was trying to get my keys, completely destroying the mirror. Speaking of thanking our stars, thanks go out to Ms. HK for the spark that got us here. Also, a thank you to Mr. Philip Trapani, my elementary school science teacher. Mr. T, wherever you are, thank you. My geekiness, nerdiness, and love of science is in large part all because of you. Tonight, we will do one thing: look up. As we look up, we are also looking back in time. The stars we see tonight are not as we see them now, but as they were tens, hundreds, or over 1,000 years ago. Our own closest star, the Sun, is a very close 93 million miles away. We say very close because it only takes sunlight traveling at 186,000 miles per second, 499 seconds, or 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach us. Or to put that another way, the sun we see is actually just over 8 minutes in our past. Does your head hurt a little bit? Here's another tiny tidbit to ponder. As we stare up and out into space, we see our past and our beginning. Elements like hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and iron. Elements that make up our bodies were once inside the stars above us. So let's thank our lucky stars and begin our journey back in time with a walk through of tonight's November 2020's beautiful night sky. Let's start by being prepared, allowing our eyes to become dark adapted. This will enhance our experience. Ignore the screams of terror. It's only me. Just stare up and off into the sky and let your eyes start to pick up on the faint light of the stars. As seconds and minutes go by, you'll start to notice you're seeing more and more stars. Do everything you can to keep your eyes skyward, dropping them to the horizon where the ground, buildings, and mountains meet the sky may allow some unneeded light pollution into your eyes. If this does happen, allow your eyes some time to get back to being dark adapted. Tonight, up is our most important direction. There are 4 others. And these directions go out and apply to anybody who is in the beautiful country of Colorado Springs, Colorado. So here we go with our 4 directions for orientation. North, looking to the sky with the mountains to our left. South, with the mountains on our right. West, directly looking at the mountains on the horizon. And finally, east, looking out toward our neighbors in Kansas, with our backs to our beautiful mountains. We will be visiting all 4 of these directions throughout the evening. Now would be a good time to say hello to all of our friends stargazing in their own backyard, listening to this now or sometime in the future. So right now, if you have an opportunity to, say hello to someone out there. Thank you. Awesome sauce. This tour of the sky and the stars should be good through the remainder of the month of November, 2020. Some of the constellations discussed tonight will still roam the winter night sky. To begin, we start with a very good rule to follow in life. Ladies first. So tonight, we start with the grand lady, the Queen of Ethiopia, Cassiopeia. Look for what looks like a W or an M in the northern sky, and you'll find Cassiopeia. Do you see it? Our first stop and the start of an interesting story. No, not the one about Wesley and Princess Buttercup. That would be inconceivable. This story starts with a very vain queen, Cassiopeia, and her daughter, Andromeda. Cassiopeia was so vain, she claimed that her and her daughter's beauty was unmatched across the land. Specifically, more beautiful than any member of Poseidon, the sea god's court. This angered Poseidon, so he sent a sea monster, Cetus, to destroy coastal Ethiopia. The only way Cassiopeia and her husband, King Cepheus, could save Ethiopia would be to find Miracle Max and storm the castle. Sorry, wrong movie. No, Cassiopeia and Cepheus had to sacrifice Andromeda by chaining her to a rock along the coast for Cetus, the sea monster. This is where the dread pirate Roberts comes in. No, I'm sorry. So sorry. This is where Perseus saves the day and says, "I'm the king of the world." Really, I'm sorry. I watch way too many movies. Really, way too many movies. Perseus, Andromeda, a sea monster. Is any of this sounding familiar? It should. A 1981 and 2010 remake tells the tale of the Clash of the Titans. In the Clash of the Titans, spoiler alert, Cetus is not the sea monster. Release the Cetus. Just doesn't sound right. How about release the Kraken? More scarier. Okay, so the Kraken is released. What now? So, while this is happening, our hero, Perseus, is off defending the honor of his mortal mother, Danae. We say mortal because his father was Zeus, god of thunder and immortal. Perseus's challenge to defend his mother from another man was to kill Medusa and bring back her head. Medusa was a gorgon, a creature so ugly and with snakes for hair that her gaze would turn any mortal to stone. Inconceivable, right? Wrong. With the help of a pair of winged sandals from Hermes for speed and stealth, and the shield of Athena for use as a mirror, Perseus was able to return with Medusa's head. Oddly enough, when Medusa's blood fell to the ground, it formed Pegasus, a winged horse. While riding Pegasus, and on his way home to his mother, Perseus just happened to fly by Andromeda, chained to a rock, about to be eaten by the Kraken. He reaches into his bag of goodies and pulls out Medusa's head. The Medusa's power to turn things to stone remained, and the Kraken is petrified, turned to stone, and crumbles into the sea. A loud, thunderous cheer is heard from the crowd. Perseus saves the day and gets the girl. The crowd cheers again. So what? Big deal. It's not like Perseus defeated a great swordsman, a giant, or outwitted a Sicilian over iocane powder. Well, here's the so what. It's all in the stars. Let's go back to Cassiopeia. that W or that M that we found in the sky. She was placed in the sky upside down due to her vanity. Her husband, Cepheus, is just by her side. Cepheus looks like a house or a giant ice cream cone. Can you see Cepheus? To the other side of Cassiopeia lies our hero, Perseus. You can almost see his arms. The star Algol, known as the demon star, is said to mark the eye of Medusa's head. Algol is an eclipsing binary, a set of two stars. A smaller one that, once every 3 days, eclipses the larger star and dims it. If we move toward and closer to the zenith, the highest point in the sky, straight up, if you will, Paula Abdul style, we may find the Great Square of Pegasus. To one side of the square, facing south, in the upper left-hand corner, lies our rescued maiden and Perseus's new wife, Andromeda. She is represented by 2 lines of stars off of the Great Square of Pegasus, going toward Cassiopeia. If you have really good eyesight, about halfway up these 2 lines of stars, the top line, what may look like a fuzzy cotton ball, is actually the Andromeda Galaxy, our closest galactic neighbor, a mere 2.5 million light years from Earth. The Andromeda Galaxy is the most distant object in space visible to the naked eye. Recent studies are predicting the collision of our galaxy, the Milky Way, with the Andromeda Galaxy in about 4.5 billion years. Sorry to ruin your evening. And now back to our story. Well, what about the bad guy? The Kraken, or in this case, Cetus, the whale, or sea monster. Cetus lies directly below Pisces, the fishes. Shout out to the other Pisces in the crowd. Splish splash. To find Cetus, first look for the circlet, one of Pisces' fishes directly below the Great Square of Pegasus. Follow the line of stars toward the horizon and down to the V. This V points at Cetus, his head facing south and his tail facing north. Again, release the Cetus. Not that scary. Release the Kraken. So much better. This completes our Clash of the Titans tale of Cassiopeia, Cepheus, Andromeda, Perseus, Pegasus, Cetus, and the eyeball of Medusa in the demon star of Algol. Crowd goes wild. Seriously, crowd goes wild. Back to our walk amongst the stars and Pisces. Pisces is a member of the zodiac, circle of little animals. Of its 12 members, one, Libra, the scales, is not an animal or living. Again, back to Pisces. Following the V back up to the other side may help us find another member of the zodiac. Aries, the ram, just barely visible, and only 3 stars. It lies below Triangulum, and somebody stayed up overnight, naming this constellation, the Triangle. Triangulum and Aries lie just below Andromeda as you face east. Further below Aries and below Perseus lies another member of the zodiac, Taurus the bull. Taurus is lower in the sky as you face east. One of its brighter stars, Aldebaran, should never be confused with Princess Leia's home planet, Alderaan. Spoiler alert, Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star in 1977. Just below Taurus, you may spot, or you may just be able to see, Orion the Hunter. Orion is much more prominent during the winter months of December and January. Let's move back above Taurus and just below or alongside of Perseus and look for what appears to be a small clump of stars, or a cluster of stars. Find it? Well, you have now found the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters. They lie directly above Taurus, just above the horizon. This star cluster is over 400 light years away. The light we see left these stars 400 years ago. Even though it is so far away, some of you may have a rather close connection to it. How, you ask? Thank you. Great question. How many of you have ever driven or have been in a Subaru? Another great question. Wait a second. Cars and stars? No more rhymes now, I mean it. Does anybody want a peanut? Sorry. Back to Subaru and its connection to the Pleiades star cluster. As we said, the Pleiades are known as the Seven Sisters. Wait a second. Wait a minute. The logo on my Subaru, or the Subaru that I saw, has 6 stars on it, not 7. Explain that. Okay, here goes. One of the sisters, represented by the dimmest star, is normally unseen. She is said to be lost. You're making all of this up. Perhaps, but not really. If I was, could I tell you this? The names of all 7 sisters. Now, if there's any Greek language experts out there, please forgive me on my pronunciations of the following names. Here goes. Maya, the oldest sister. Maya is Latin for mother. At one time, she was the brightest star. No longer, though. Sister number 2, Alcyone. Allie now shines the brightest. Sister number 3, Asteropeia, Greek for star. Sadly, one of the dimmer stars. Sister number 4, Seleno. Cece, again, another dimmer star. Sister number 5, Tai Aegiti, known by her friends as Tiggy. Sister number 6, Electra, one of the brightest of the sisters. And finally, sister number 7, Merope, the last and lost sister, and also the last of the Pleiades to be mapped by astronomers. So getting back to our Subaru logo. Subaru means united or to gather in Japanese. So the 5 smaller stars represent a merger or gathering into the larger star in the logo. 5 smaller divisions of Subaru merge into one larger star. This is really too complicated to make up. Take a good look at the next Subaru you can see and check it out for yourself. Perhaps, just perhaps, the most impressive item we may see tonight is a visible part of our own galaxy, the Milky Way. If you can find your way back to our start point this evening, our queen, Cassiopeia, you might be able to make out the milkiness of the Milky Way, making its way across the November sky, roughly northeast to southwest. This pass across the sky represents the edge of our galaxy. Counting and thanking your lucky stars, you may one day find yourself in a dark sky territory, a rare place with very limited or no light pollution. You may be able to observe the glow of our galaxy's clouds of gas, stellar nurseries, nebulae, the birthplace of stars. Let's walk some more through the Milky Way. We're now looking for one of the more difficult constellations to find in the fall night sky, Little Cassiopeia, more commonly known as Lacerta, the lizard. This modern constellation, from 1687, was created by Johannes Hevelius, a German astronomer, and lies between Cygnus the Swan, which looks like a giant cross, and our chain maiden Andromeda. Lacerta, the lizard, is almost directly overhead. It lies half in and half out of the Milky Way. Can you find it? Again, it is known as Little Cassiopeia. Look for a very small, a very tiny W. Hevelius also created a few other sneaky animals to find in the night sky. They include Vulpecula, the little fox, which lies toward the bottom of Cygnus, the swan's cross, and just on the edge of the Milky Way's glow. The little fox holds an interesting secret. In 1967, 2 years before I was born, the first pulsar was discovered. Pulsar? What's that? Thank you for asking. A pulsar is a rapidly spinning neutron star that produces a very strong magnetic field. A pulsar spin produces strong radio waves, impulses. This is why it's called a pulsar. The pulses from the little fox's pulsar are just over a second apart. An interesting nerd fact, just one nerd fact? This whole talk so far has been nothing but nerd facts. Okay, so a neutron star is one of two possible deaths a star can take after it spectacularly, is that even a word? Spectacularly explodes in a supernova. Boom! That's my supernova sound effect. After a star dies through a violent supernova explosion, the star's center becomes very compressed. So compressed that all of its matter is shed, thrown off until nothing but neutrons remain. Voila! A neutron star. And now, as we approach the cliffs of insanity, here's the really crazy part. If the star's original mass was larger than 4 times that of our sun, it's time to ride the crazy train. All aboard! If our original star was a more massive star, it does not stop collapsing, and it continues to collapse in upon itself, forming one of the most mysterious objects we continue to learn more about each and every day, a black hole. Called a black hole because it is exactly that, black. Not even light can escape its monstrous pull of gravity. And yes, in case you're wondering, there is a movie about this. The movie's title? Yep, you guessed it. Disney's 1979 classic, The Black Hole. Let's bring this all back to our night sky. About halfway down Cygnus the Swan's center line, and below its outstretched wings, lies one of these dark monsters. Cygnus X1, one of the most studied black holes. You may go through life doubting the existence of ROUSs, rodents of unusual size, but do not doubt the existence of black holes. They certainly exist. Not only do they exist, but they look to play a role in the evolution of galaxies, including our own. A supermassive black hole resides at the center of our own galaxy, Sagittarius A star, named after its location within the constellation Sagittarius. We can only barely make out Sagittarius's, the Archer's arrow, Sagitta. Sagitta is just barely missing Cygnus the Swan's head. Sagitta is among the tiniest of all constellations. It is the 86th largest of all 88 named constellations. Only 2 are smaller than it. Sagittarius currently lies below our horizon. It will return to the sky during the summer months of June through August. Mentioning Sagittarius does bring us back to our circle of little animals, the zodiac. We previously mentioned Pisces the fish, Libra the scales, Aries the ram, and Taurus the bull. 2 other members of the zodiac grace our current night sky: Aquarius, the water bearer in the south, below the great square of Pegasus. The true dawning of the age of Aquarius will be in about 600 years, when the sun is within Aquarius on the first day of spring. Next to Aquarius, to the southwest, is Capricornus, the goat. Well, not quite the greatest of all time. Tom Brady would be very upset. Capricornus looks more like a giant Dorito in the sky. Note to self, say Dorito one more time and my $100,000 endorsement deal is complete. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't supposed to read that out loud. My bad. Back to the Dorito. Back to Capricornus. Capricornus is Latin for horned goat, but is really more of a sea goat, with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish. If you didn't already know this, on the day you entered the world, the sun sat in a specific part of the sky, within one of the 12 members of the zodiac. Are you a ram, a bull, a twin, a crab, a lion, a maiden, a set of scales, a scorpion, an archer, a sea goat, a water bearer, or a fish? You don't know? Well, it's all in the stars. Question: is your birthday between November 29th and December 17th? Guess what? You are special. So very special. I offer you Ophiuchus. What? You might just be able to see it directly west, just above the horizon. Small problem for us here. In Colorado, our western horizon, Colorado Springs, is a bit elevated, therefore hiding Ophiuchus. That's me. That's me. I'm an Ophiuchus. Well, what am I? Well, you're a healer. Ever seen the 6-pointed blue star on some ambulances and some paramedics? This is known as the Star of Life. It also has a staff with a snake wrapped around it in the center. Wait, what? Yep, the constellation Ophiuchus represents a man holding a large serpent. Also, a man, as the story goes, who killed a snake with a staff, but the snake was brought back to life. Hence today's link to emergency medical personnel. Check it out for yourself the next time you may happen to see the Star of Life. And finally, yes, I know, don't be sad. We draw to a close of a walk through the night sky and across time, as we started with a story of battle. This hero, Hercules, stands just above the western horizon. Well, actually, he doesn't stand. He's kind of upside down. He's also below Cygnus the Swan. Also, setting below one of the brightest stars in the night sky, Vega, in the tiny constellation Lyra, the Lyre. Not lyre as in pants on fire, but lyre as in tiny harp. As you look at Hercules, note that his foot is firmly on the head of the beast he is battling, Draco the dragon. And very interesting enough, Draco the dragon appears to be wrapped around our little bear, Ursa Minor, more commonly known as the Little Dipper. Our final 2 nerd facts of the night follow. Thank goodness. A star in Draco's tail, Thuban, was about 5,000 years ago, or North Star. Now, due to the wobble of the Earth spinning on its axis over time, the title of North Star has moved to another star. Nerd fact number 2. Now at the end of the handle of the Little Dipper lies Polaris, the current North Star. Due to the 23.5-degree tilt of the Earth's axis, the North Pole, if projected out into space, would go right through Polaris. Okay. Just hold on a second. Extra special bonus nerd fact number 3. This is why it seems as if the entire sky is rotating around Polaris. And from Polaris, we can look up just a bit and we are back home with our king and queen, Cepheus and Cassiopeia. Speaking of being back home, be safe getting there, whether you just got to turn around and walk in the back door of your house or wherever you happen to be. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We hope some wonder, curiosity, and awe goes home with you. Thank you again. S. Morgan Stern, Peter Falk, Jack Horkheimer. Keep looking up. Rest in peace, gentlemen. Be safe. Be good. Have a good night.